Good evening and welcome to the Formula Racing League. This is the 100% Racing Series. Round 3 of the championship takes place at the Ile Notre Dame Circuit Gilles Villeneuve outside Montreal in Canada. Qualifying was completed yesterday, so a quick rundown on what exactly happened in that. And Orange and Gamma, the championship leader, crashed out after setting his first lap time. He was safely through to Q2 but decided to try a second flying lap and crashed out turn 5. That meant that he was out of qualifying at the end of Q2. Also exiting Q1 was Magid in the AlphaTauri, I believe it is. Q1 was driven using inters and stayed wet the whole session. On to Q2, the rain did ease off towards the end, but the session was again wet. Max, Moody and Leclerc all failed to set a time. Max and Moody had other engagements, with Leclerc crashing out on his outlap at turn 5. The last eliminated driver was Eckert, who was 4 tenths slower than the car in 10th place. Everyone has free choice of tyres for the race, as it was inters used in Q2. On to Q3, the most important part of the session. The Delta was marginally in the favour of the inters for the first minute or so, but the softs were soon the faster tyre. Track evolution played a massive part. Liverpool fan spent nearly the whole of Q3 in P1, but as the track got faster at the end, he went into the pits, whilst others took advantage of the last few seconds. Jay Hartnell went provisional pole, but Big Balls Bells took it off him with a last gasp effort. A 1 minute 9.1 was enough for pole position. Royal Dog was the performance of quality though, setting the second fastest time, then going P3. He set the fastest time in Q2 and then going third fastest in Q3, hence why he's starting there. So who is starting where on the grid? Big Balls Bells is on pole position with Jay Hartnell alongside. It's Wild Dog and Leppy on row 2. Liverpool Fan and King of the Hills make up row 3 in 5th and 6th. Milios and Statistic King on row 4. Then it's Eckert, the highest of the reserve drivers for this evening, in 9th. Then it's Max in 10th. Leclerc, Mean Man Moody, and Orange and Gamma are next. Orange and Gamma, the championship leader, starting 13th on the grid. Magid will start 14th. Then it's Womax in 15th. Dixon, who missed last weekend's outing in Japan, he's back in this week. He will start 16th. John Neves, the Brazilian, will be 17th on the grid. And then we've got 3 more reserve drivers. They are Vermont Newbell, Ollie, and Han, making up the 20 drivers for the start of this Canadian Grand Prix. So everyone has a free choice of tyres to start the race on, as Q2 was wet. And that's all you need to know. So we'll be interested to see which drivers are starting on whatever tyre compound for the first stint. We will be seeing pit stops, and we're probably going to be seeing a lot of drivers being penalised, as Canada is one of those circuits where it's very easy to exceed track limits and therefore gain penalties as a result of it. So we are going on to the formation lap then for round 3 of the championship. Big Balls Bells leads the field off for the formation lap, and now is an opportunity to find out who is starting on what. Well, the vast majority are starting on the softs. The only drivers who are starting on the mediums, they are Liverpool Fan, Eckert, John Neves, Vernon Newbell, Ollie, Safdar and Mark. There may be 1 or 2 drivers who were meant to be racing tonight but couldn't as a result. That's why we're seeing Safdar and Mark being called in to make up the grid. Also to say hi as well to YT Sinks and Ollie. And Orange Gamma, the championship leader, saying just before the race, just wanted to say great job with all the commentary you do, how you enjoy the race. That's very, very sympathetic of you there, Gamma. And very best of luck to this race. Be an interesting one as well. Starting 11th on the grid in the Racing Point. He has a great opportunity to convert that into the race win. I was just looking to see who will not be taking part in this race, actually, considering where they were in qualifying. And it looks as though that Statistic King is not able to make it. And the other driver who was not able to make to the grid was Max, who qualified 10th on the grid, the reserve driver, well, one of the reserve drivers, but he had to call it a skip for this week. But hopefully we'll see him back in future outings. And looking at the calendar in terms of where the 100% racing series will be going to, after Canada it's Zandvoort in Holland, then it's Azerbaijan following that, and then China, Singapore, Silverstone, and then we wrap up the championship on the 10th of July at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Well, the cars have made their return to the grid now. Big Bob Bells will be looking to convert his pole position into the race win, but keep an eye out on 11th place man Orange and Gamma, who we expect to see make his way through the field. It looks as though that Dixon wasn't able to make it tonight's race, so we do wish him hopefully coming back next week for the next one in Zandvoort. So the drivers are on the grid then, waiting for those all-important 5 red lights to come on. When they all extinguish, we'll be going racing here at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Here we go. It's lights out, and away we go. Big Boss Bells gets off the line cleanly, but Jay Hartnell gets a better getaway from second. He's going to lead into turn 1, although Big Boss Bells is not going to let him have it that easily, and so he shouldn't, and he's nearly got better drive coming out of turn 2 to get back into the lead, but it's Jay Hartnell who's going to have the inside into turn 3, so it's Jay Hartnell making the jump on Big Boss Bells into first position. Then it's Big Boss Bells in second, and then we've got the 2 Haas drivers of Leppy and Wild Dog next. We've got a Mercedes diving to the inside, contact there at the back, and the Mercedes of Liverpool fan going round, and one of the Haas into the barrier. So both of those drivers on the back foot already. So Wild Dog gets up to 3rd place. In 4th is Melios, and Orange and Gamma, coming up from 11th on the grid, has already made his way up into 5th position. Great start from the championship leader. Leclerc's in 6th place in the Ferrari, then it's Wimax 7th ahead of Kate Cox, Ollie, and King of the Hills. I think Ollie's another one of those drivers who's made up good ground, actually. So he's made as good of a start as Orange and Gamma has done. So onto the back straight we go. Big Bold Bells looking to fend off the Haas of Wild Dog. He'll be in the slipstream and using his ERS. No DRS for the first 2 laps of the race of the course. But Wild Dog gets his Haas up into 2nd place as they come round to complete the first lap of this event. So Jay Hartnell into the lead at the end of lap 1. Oh, we've got a spinner. It's Ollie in the barrier on the exit. At the pit wall on the exit wall of champions, and he's out of the Canadian Grand Prix with less than a lap completed. The virtual safety car has been deployed, and Bizzlesticks is in the pits as well, calling it quits as well. So he's obviously had damaged. He's not going any further. Leppy picking up damage after that contact with Liverpool fan down at turn 6, and so he's got an opportunity to get that front wing replaced whilst we are under the virtual safety car. So we've got 2 drivers out of this race already. Ollie binding it in the barriers at the exit of turn 13, the last corner onto the pit straight, and Bizzlesticks retiring in the pit lane after damage at the start. So we've had drivers coming into the pits already. Mark was one of them. Liverpool fan, I think, has carried on actually, but he may have picked up damage following the contact, or has he got away with it? I think he may have got away with it, but either way, we're back on the way. After that virtual safety car, we have a Ferrari making a lunge. That's Wumax diving to the inside of Leclerc, but not quite close enough to get the move done. Orange and Gamma looking to make up, continue good ground actually from the start, from 11th to 5th. Then we've got Melios, who made up good ground in the McLaren in 4th, behind the Ralph Romeo of pole sitter Big Boss Bells. Now, strategy is anyone's game, to be honest with you. And Newbell moving ahead of John Nevers to go up into 11th position, and Seftar following suit. So Seftar continuing to make a good start from the back of the grid. We've got Han in the pits as well now for Mercedes. She's obviously had contact somewhere and taken the penalty as a result of it. I don't know if she actually has got that front wing replaced actually. So I'd like to think that she's going to be needing to pit again for that front wing replacement. Either way, Mean Man Moody's just lost the position to Leppy, who's making up for lost time. The pair of them continuing to go at it, but Leppy has the upper hand this time and keeps hold of 16th position. On to lap 3 then. DRS has been enabled, so Wild Dog has an opportunity to use the DRS on the back straights to go through now. DRS is open on the Haas. Will they go down the inside as they come into turns 12 and 13? And we have a new race leader, that is Wild Dog now, but Jay Hartnell's coming back. In fact, I think Jay Hartnell's got damage to his front wing. On the right-hand side. Yes, he has. So Jay Hartnell's going to have to fight it out so much if he wants to keep hold of first position, but Wild Dog is not having any of it. Contact from behind as the McLaren of Melios hits the back of the Alfa Romeo of Big Boss Bells, but it's got by Jay Hartnell, who's dropping back with that front wing damage. Orange and Gamma's next behind him. Riding on board with it now as they come through turns 3 and 4. And Orange and Gamma just picking them off one by one. But Wild Dog is now into the lead for Haas. Big Boss Bells is second. Melios is third. J Hartnell, Orange and Gamma, Leclerc and Wumax are the next few cars behind. And we've got a change here because Orange and Gamma is under threat from the Ferrari of Leclerc. And Leclerc's mistake at turn 8 and 9 is allowing Wumax to close in. Wumax dive into the inside as they come into the hairpin. Oh, and Leclerc, that was Leclerc making contact with Orange and Gamma again. Did he pick up damage through all that? He probably didn't. Oh yeah, I think he may have actually. But Orange and Gamma is getting on with it now with J Hartnell onto the back straight. And 4th place is going to the Racing Point. So Orange and Gamma making a great start to the Canadian Grand Prix here. And J Hartnell is in the pits for a new nose section. And Newbell making his way through the field as well in the Alfa Romeo. The second of the Alfa Romeos. Let's go up into 8th place. Now what tyres is J Hartnell going to go on? He's going to go onto the hards by the looks of it. So Wild Dog still in the lead with Big Balls Bells in 2nd place. And we've got an incident in sector 3. Mean Man Moody's out. Mean Man Moody has crashed out of the race. And we've got I don't think we've got a safety car at the moment. I think he may have just stopped, to be honest with you. It's not the best way to retire from a race, if I'm honest. But he's calling it quits. But he should have gone in the pits if he's going to retire. I think Melios just made contact with Big Balls Bells down at the hairpin. Now, they are coming up to a yellow flag zone, so they won't be able to complete the overtakes. Well, these guys, they can now actually, because Mean Man Moody's car has been cleared. So Big Boss Bells going to the inside of Wild Dog as they come into the last chicane. And Big Boss Bells, who was on pole, has got back into the lead. And was that the Racing Point? Oh no, it was the Haas that went over to the runoff area. That's Wild Dog. So Wild Dog's losing another couple of places. And Melios came into the pits for McLaren, so all of this has allowed Orange and Gamma to move up into 2nd place behind race leader Big Boss Bells. I think Melios is going to have track position when he rejoins. The Red Bull's gone past him, that's Mark. And he should rejoin ahead of that Renault. He's coming down the start finish straight, that's J Hartnell. But Orange and Gamma has now got DRS behind race leader Big Boss Bells as we come into turn 8. And someone else has had an incident, that'll be Mark, who's just had a moment, or one of the other Red Bulls actually, is Magad, who has had a bit of a moment. He's got damage to his front wing as well. We are now on lap 6. Orange and Gamma will use that with rear wing. He'll use the rear wing to his advantage and try and pull alongside Big Balls Bells. Wasn't able to get the job done there, but I think with all his ERS and DRS, he's going to be able to pull alongside and get the move done here. Although he may be too far back still. So Big Balls Bells doing a fine job keeping hold of the lead. Liverpool fan making up for lost time after the collision he had with Leppy at the start. Safdar up into 8th place now in the Williams. But Orange and Gamma looking to get by Big Boss Bells to put his Racing Point into 1st position. Now Orange and Gamma lining up for a pass on Big Balls Bells. Rear wing open. ERS being utilised. Can he get into the slipstream? I don't think he can on this occasion. So no change of lead there. Wumax getting his Ferrari up into 3rd place as well. Eckhott's now 5th with Leclerc, Newbell and Safdar right behind. Newbell going to the outside of Leclerc into turn 1. And that's that overtake completed. Can Safdie make use of the open door to pull alongside? Maggie getting a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Now Orange and Gamma will be looking to get into the slipstream of the Alfa Romeo. Now, is he going to take any risks in getting past? Oh, we've got a full course yellow because John Nevers has crashed out on the exit of turn 5, and we have our first safety car off the race. So John Nevers has pushed too hard coming through turn 5. He probably clipped the barrier somewhere, the inside, and then forced into the outside of the barrier, and he's now out of the race. There's Han there in 17th position at the moment. She'll move up to 16th once she goes past John Nevers. She's so desperate to get into the pit lane. Well, not into the pit lane, but to try and get back on the lead lap. We do have a long way to go yet still, so yeah, she's carrying on. Now Eckhout is in the pit, so is Leclerc. He's needing a new front wing. King of the Hills coming in. And King of the Hills is out on his way. So Big Boss Bells leads behind the safety car. Now, will any of these drivers decide to pit in? Now, Orange and Gamma will be looking. Now, will any of these guys pit in at the end of this lap for a change of tyres? Big Boss Wells is not. Han going across the runoff area. So Big Bell's continuing to lead. Now, Newbell is in 5th place, the highest of those not on the soft compound, so he can go further on his mediums. Jay Hartnell now getting a time penalty for the collision with King of the Hills under the safety car. So we'll have to take that the next time he comes in for his stop. So we have 4 drivers out of the race already. John Nevers was the one who caused the safety car to be deployed. Mima Moody retiring on circuit. Ollie crashing out at the end of lap 1, and Missile 6 retiring in the pit lane as well. 16 still running. Han a lap down to the others. There's still plenty of time for to make up some places through the misfortunes of others. So Big Boss Bells back in the field up. Safety car is coming to the pits now, so he'll decide when to go, and he's gone now. How soon will it be before Orange and Gamma gets alongside to have a go? So we're starting lap 11 now. And we've got an instant set to 3, and Han's just moving out of the way, actually, of the drivers. I think something else has happened, though. Can't quite tell what that was, but either way, I think that's just Ham moving out of the way of cars who are lapping it. There's Leppy trying to get past the Red Bull of Mark. We're going back to the battle for the lead because Orange and Gamma is in second place. He's obviously not going to try and rush a manoeuvre on Big Boss Bells. They make their way down the back straight. Emilio's getting in front of Liverpool Fan for 7th position. So they come down the back straight now, and Big Boss Bells doing a brilliant job to keep hold of the lead. Emilio's still behind Liverpool Fan. So Orange and Gamut still behind Big Boss Bells. Womack's in 3rd place, doing a very fine job at the moment. Wild Dog down to 6th place, so he's just been overtaken by Safdar. Safdar having a brilliant race also. There's Liverpool Fan. Wild Dog's tyres are very much second hand at the moment. We've got Milios, Leclerc and Ecot waiting to pounce. There's no DRS yet for the first 2 laps of the restart. They're just approaching the end of the second lap of the restart. So when they do cross the line, DRS will be enabled. And Jay Harnell's just gone past Mark for 12th place. Gamma now with DRS. He's waiting for the opportunity to get into the slipstream and get the job done on the Alfa Romeo. And someone else has gone for a spin. It's that's Mud. I think it's Mays who's gone for a spin because he's dropped behind Leppy. So he's got with it all to do again. Big Boss Bell still in front of Orange and Gamut. We've got a battle for 3rd now between Newbell, Safdar, Womax and Wild Dog. In fact, Newbell and Safdar have got ahead of Womax, and Liverpool Fan is now in front of Wild Dog. So those who are on the soft compound will be really, really struggling now at this point. In terms of the weather conditions, we are expecting a dry race throughout. There's Mage coming into the pits for a new front wing. Another set of the mediums going on. Big Boss Bells determined to stay in front. Manchingham's still within DRS range to use the DRS, so I think it's going to be pretty much down to the pit stops for when these two come in. Because I'm sure it's not going to be too long before Newbell and Safdar close in on these two. In fact, Safdar is determined to get in front of Newbell. Manchingham's getting a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. King of the Hills in the pits for Renault. Now the top 15 score points in this 100% racing series. 40 points go to the race winner. $32 for second and 28 for third, I believe. So it's 32 for second, 26 for third, 20 for fourth, all the way down to 15 points. So we get 1 point. Melios has got past Leclerc for 8th place. Of course, Orange and Gamut closing in on Big Balls Bells for the lead still. 7 seconds clear of New Bell, actually. Now, what will be interesting is when these two come in for their first pit stops, where will they feed back out in terms of the traffic? I would expect to both of them to come out in front of Jay Hartnell. Still got some way to go yet, though. And Wild Dog, who has just been in the pits, actually, for a set of mediums, has come back out in some clean air as well. So Big Balls Bells and Orange and Gamma coming onto the start finish straight. Gamma is going to be too far back to have a go. Leppy's moving in front of Jay Hartnell. You can see Melios clipping the polystyrene boards as they enter the last chicane. Leclerc moves up into 7th place. Eckott and Mark waiting behind Melios, who's been on the soft tyres since the beginning of lap 6. Orange and Gamma proving his racecraft. And then he has Big Balls Bells standing in his way, but Big Balls Bells in the championship, no points to his name. After the first couple of races, didn't finish either of them. So he's looking to score his first points of the season here today. Over the curves they come. Orange and Gamma nearly losing it. Oh, he spins. Oh, he's hit the barrier. I think he's carried on though. And Orange and Gamma makes the worst mistake of his season so far by clouting the wall and breaking his front wing. He took too much curb on the outside of turn 13 and just lost momentum and hit the barrier on the outside where the Wall of Champions is. He's going to have to do a whole lot with that front wing damage. And all that is going to allow Soft Dart and those behind him to close in. Oh, don't rush it there, Soft Dart. Yeah, we do. Oh, and Simmons in the barrier. It's a Ferrari. A Ferrari's gone into the barrier. It's Womax. Another one of those who's hit the barrier whilst on the soft compound, who have pretty much second hand, to be honest with you. Leppy gets past him, as does Jay Hartnell. So Womax drops down the order through all that. So now they're coming over. So all of this is left Soft Dart in second place now. New Bell is third. Liverpool Fan is fourth. Big Gamma is now in the pits to get that front wing replaced. Leppy should go past him, as does Jay Hartnell, Wild Dog as well. But Womax will most certainly be needing to come into the pits. So Orange and Gamma's hard work has all come to nothing, to be honest with you. He'll rejoin ahead of Maged, who's on the back straight. So Garrett will rejoin in 12th position. That's the back marker of Han, who's in the Mercedes. Here we go with the battle for third between Newbell and Liverpool Fan. What can Liverpool Fan do as they come into the hairpin? Can't get in front there, so he'll want to use the DRS to good effect. Got much better speed than Newbell has, and I think we're going to see a change of position. Oh, it's contact! Liverpool Fan's wrecked his front wing there, and the Alfa Romeo has gone into the pit. Now, did Newbell move across more than once? Did he change his line more than once? Either way, Newbell's in the pits for a brand new set of tyres, whilst these guys are continuing battling for the lead. We've got a safety car. Now, someone's had a moment, not sure who it is. I think it's for the Derek All in Jay Hartnell. Has ripped off his front wing completely. Perhaps whilst battling away with Wild Dog. And now he's needing a new front wing. Newbell's just come out of the pits on his new set of mediums. Andrew Gamma has a good opportunity to catch back up. And who else is in the pits? King of the Hills is in the pits for a change of tyres. He'll need to be as quick as he can, actually, because the race leader is coming up to the last chicane. He's coming up to it now. The Renault is on his way. He should rejoin. I think that if the race leader is in the pits for a new set of tyres. So it's all well and good for Jay Hartnell, or King of the Hills, I should say. He'll be able to catch up to the back of the field. Big Balls Bells with the lead he had. He's not going to be held up in the pits. I think he may continue keeping hold of the lead. So yeah, Big Balls Bells rejoins in the lead ahead of Leclerc. Mark is third, Eckhart fourth. Safdar in the pits to get another set of the medium compound on. Other drivers making their way into the pits. That's allowing Orange and Gamma to make up a few places. And Gamma is now in 10th place behind Melios. Newbell getting a 3-second time penalty for exceeding shot limits down. That's on the safety car conditions as well, so pretty much a needless penalty for Newbell. So Big Balls Bells leads the field behind the safety car. We're on lap 21. This is the second safety car of this race. Our third interruption. We had the VSC at the end of lap 1 because of Ollie's racing point that crashed out on the exit of the last chicane. The first safety car was for John Nevis's Williams that crashed out on the exit of turn 5. And the safety car is now out again because of the leftover debris from drivers like Liverpool Fan and Jay Hartnell. So Big Balls Bells looking to control the pace again. He's on younger tyres actually now than Leclerc, Mark, Eckhart and that. So he's got a fantastic opportunity to pull away from these guys and build up a huge margin for when he comes in for his second stop of the race. But this race is far from over. Anything can happen. We've got 4 drivers out of the race already. John Neves, Mean Man Moody, Ollie and Rizzlesticks. Leclerc now in second place for Ferrari ahead of Mark, Eckhout, Wild Dog, Safdar, Liverpool Fan, Newville, Milios and Orange and Gamma. He's back up to 10th place. He's on better tyres than those ahead of him at this point, which he'll want to use to good effect. And the safety car is now coming in at the end of this lap, so Big Balls Bells will slow down, as will the rest of the field. And when the safety car comes back into the pits, Big Balls Bells will decide when to go. So coming through now, exiting turns 12 and 13. And we can see a change there as Mark tries to get past Leclerc. He did overtake him briefly, but they didn't pass the start-finish line before Mark got the job done. So Mark had to sit back behind Leclerc to avoid a penalty. And now Wild Dog is trying to fend off the Williams of Safdar. How's Orange Gamma getting on? He's still behind Milios. I think by the time they get onto the back straight, that's when he can pounce from there. But we've had a lot of time penalties being dished out so far, so we'll have a look at who's got what. Most of them have got 3 seconds each. Newbell's got 9, Milio's got 6, as is Mage. Jay Hartland's got 14 seconds worth of time penalty. Wild Dog to get past Eckhout. Orange and Gamma looking to close in on Milios. Mark is in 3rd place, still behind Leclerc. He's been on the medians for as long as the beginning of lap 8. He's on his 17th lap of the medium tyres he's on. Eckhout's in 4th place still. Safdar trying to get ahead of Wild Dog. Wild Dog still has the upper hand. Orange Gamma has finally got past Milios to put his racing point back up to 9th. And now Mark looking to get past the Ferrari of Leclerc. DRS is now enabled. Mark going to the inside of Leclerc as they go into turn 1, and Mark has done it. So Mark, of the late breakers, has managed to get his Red Bull up into 2nd place now. Newville will be under pressure from the Alfa Romeo of Orange and Gamma. So with DRS now enabled, that's most certainly going to shake up the order. Whilst Big Balls Bells is well and truly clear. He's over 2.5 seconds clear of everyone else, so he hasn't got anyone to worry about. Now Leclerc will be looking to get ahead of Mark. Come down the back straight, and there is Wild Dog losing the position to Eckhout. And Safdar follow through. He may try to do around the outside, but there's not enough room, so he has to fall back in again. Liverpool Fan waiting to pounce as well. There was a bit of debris flying there. Was that from the Ferrari? It's just lost it, and it may well be from Rumax. Yes, it is Rumax, because the right-hand side of his front wing is missing. So his race going from bad to worse now. Here's Wild Dog in 5th position. Get too deep there into turn 6. That's going to make him vulnerable to Safdar behind. Ooh, a bit of contact there from Safdar, hitting the back of Wild Dog. It was only a nudge. You can tell how desperate he is to get ahead of the Haas driver. Rear wing open on both drivers, although Safdar has got better speed than the Haas driver. Goes to the outside as they come into the last chicane. The two make contact. Safdar still committed. Can he do the switchback on the start finish straight? He's trying to. He goes to the inside as they come into turn 1 now. And Safdar puts his Williams up to 5th place. Orange and Gamut looking to get by as well on the Haas driver. Oh, he nearly loses it. Oh, he nearly lost it by trying to get past the Haas driver. And Wild Dog stays in front. Orange and Gamut nearly losing it. And therefore losing places as a result of it. Back on board with the racing point now. Continuing to fight his way back through the field. Newbell getting another 3 seconds added to his time penalty. Now, there are only 4 drivers who are running in this race who do not have time penalties at all. They are Big Boss Bells, Eckhart, Safdar, and Han. Safdar determined to get in front of Eckhart, who is not going to have DRS, so this is a golden opportunity for Safdar to pull clear of those behind by getting in front of him. Goes to the inside, and that's 4th place going to the Williams driver. Great move there from Safdar, who's having a brilliant race so far, especially from the back of the grid. Newbell looking to get by Milios. King of the Hills now ahead of Jay Hartnell, who's in the pits again for Renault. Oh, his race is just getting worse and worse and worse now, isn't it? Orange and Gamma getting by Eckhart and putting his racing point up to 5th position. Safdar is next up. Leclerc looking to get back into 2nd place at the moment, although Safdar is on fresher tyres than those two, so Safdar continuing to close in, as is Orange and Gamma. Milios getting back ahead of Newbell into 9th, and Rumax is in the pits for a new front wing for Ferrari. But Big Boss Bells in full command of this race now, and someone else is retired. It's Jay Hartnell. Now, did he bin it on the exit of the Wall of Champions? I think he may well have done, and the virtual safety car has been deployed. Now, will Big Boss Bells take an opportunity to pit in and save him some time, or will he think, no, probably not worth it, I'll just stay out and keep track position? Stays out. Now, will Mark pit in? No, he won't. Neither will Leclerc. I don't think any of them are going to be considering coming in for a pit stop. Just waiting for the track map to go green again, and it does. So Big Boss Bells continuing to lead, 5 seconds clear of everyone else. Mark in 2nd place ahead of Leclerc. Safdar 4th. Here's Leclerc right behind Mark in the battle for second. So now on lap 30 we've lost 5 drivers from this race so far. I don't know how many more we'll see dropping out before the race is over. Leclerc's got virtual safety car deployed. Now what's happened? Who's had a moment somewhere? Who's perhaps lost debris at a particular part of the racetrack? It appears to be that anyone's got damage. I'm just looking to see who may have clipped the barrier on the outside, which may have contributed to the virtual safety car being deployed. Now, is it King of the Hills who's got damage? Not 100% sure. But Big Balls Bells, he's looking... yeah, I think it's King of the Hills who clipped the wall and left debris on the racetrack, hence why we're under a virtual safety car condition. We're back on the way now. Mays gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. So his race goes from bad to worse. He'll need to pit in within the next 3 laps, or he will be disqualified. Suffolk continuing to get time penalties as well. 3 seconds added for him now. Big Balls Bell 6 seconds clear of everyone else. Big Balls Bells continuing to lead. 6 seconds clear now. Leclerc right on the back of the Red Bull of Mark. Safdar in there as well, as is Orange and Gamma. Eckhots and Wild Dog also in there. And we've got another virtual safety car. And Mage is in the pits. Don't think he's got damage. Oh, damage to the car. Was it from someone behind? No, there's a car going slowly there. Is that King of the Hills? No, he hasn't got damage. Did Han leave damage? Or leave debris on the track by hitting the barrier somewhere? I don't think she did. Maze is coming in. Now, was he allowed to take that drive-through under the virtual safety car? I think he came in for a change of tyres, actually. Did Maze. So, he'll have to take that drive-through on a restart. Han now getting a 3-second time penalty. There are now only 2 drivers who have not been given time penalties in this race. They are Big Balls Bells and Eckhots. Liverpool fan moving in front of... and there's been a collision somewhere. I think Liverpool fan went over the rumble strips, or the curbs, and Newbell got in front of him into 8. Newbell's carrying such a hefty time penalty at the moment, though. 12 seconds it is. Liverpool fan has got 9. And he's now in the pits to serve that drive-through penalty. He'll lose 13th position to Maged. Going to go to the battle for second place here, because Mark is still ahead of these 2 drivers, Leclerc and Safdar. Orange and Gamma not making much ground up there in 5th. Newbell side by side with Wild Dog as they come down the start finish straight. Oh, the 2 collide! And they're both in the barrier! And is that both of their races done? Not quite so. But both of them coming together. And I wonder if the stewards will have a look at that, because Wild Dog did move across on New Belt when he shouldn't have done. So the stewards, I think, will be quite busy after tonight's race having a look at that. And we've got an incident now in Sector 2. It's one of the Williams who's gone off. It's Safdar. So Safdar, who was 4th in the race before that, before he made that mistake, has just got dropped down to 11th after a spin. It's got front wing damage, so that's his race effectively over, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, we've had so many drivers in the wars. There's Orange and Gamma in 3rd, ahead of Leclerc now. So Orange and Gamma taking advantage of the mistake from Safdar to get in front of both him and Leclerc. He's got a bit of ground to make up there on Mark, 1.4 seconds that is. And Safdar's now in the pits for speed in the pit lane. It just adds to the frustration that he already has now. So Safdar exits the pits in 14th place. That's Han going past him, but she's already a lap behind him. So Safdar's got a lot of ground to make up, is to salvage a lot of points from this race. Orange and Gamma now in 3rd, closing in on Mark. Melio's getting in front of Liverpool Fan into 6th place. But Liverpool Fan is coming back on the inside as they come down towards turn 1. There's Gamma, who is Mark getting another 3-second time penalty. That takes his total to 9 for this race now. We're into the second half of this one. Big Boss Bells' lead is now over 8 seconds. Orange and Gamma in 3rd place behind Mark, which I think is about to become 2nd once he starts using the DRS on the back straight. Not using his ERS though, so he's probably going to wait behind the Red Bull before he has a go. Can he do it on the start finish straight this time? He is using his ERS this time. Can he get the move done? Ooh, and Mark covering his line well, keeping his Red Bull in front. Orange and Gamma going to the outside, coming out of turn 2, and Orange and Gamma is going to put his racing point up into 2nd place by the looks of it. And he's done it. So Orange and Gamma completing the move round the outside of the exit of turn 2 to put his racing point back up into 2nd place. This is a great recovery drive from Orange and Gamma. Eckhout rejoins in 8th after his pit stop. That should see him to the end of the race now. And in fact, if Eckhout can avoid any time penalties between now and the end of the race, he could elevate his McLaren up quite a number of positions. He's got clear track in front of him. He's got 10 seconds in hand over El Happy, who's in front of him. So he can make use of the clean air to close in on these guys when they come in for their last stops. So Liverpool Fan getting back ahead of Melio's into 5th place, and Mark is in the pits for Red Bull onto the soft compound, so I should expect he'll be pitting in before this race is done. He'll be pitting in again, I should say. He'll rejoin ahead of Eckhout in 7th. So Mark is in 7th place now. I want to go back to see if there's any other changes. Wild Dog is in the pits for Haas. He's had a mediocre drive, to be honest with you. He rejoins behind the Mercedes of Han, who is a lap down. In fact, he's just got ahead of her by exiting the pits. And Ecot's in 6th as Leclerc and Milios exit the pits after what looks like that could be their last stops of the race. To get out in front of Rumax. Ecot's looking to, he needs to get the hammer down, to be honest with you. So looking at the penalties at the moment for each driver. The order would be Big Balls Bells, Orange and Gamma, Leppy, Liverpool Fan, and then Ecot, then Mark. There could be some more penalties being dished out later. Semelios has a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits now. Ecot's looking to close in on Mark, but Mark's tyres will be in better condition than his, given that he's only just come in for the softs. But the good news for Ecot's is that Leppy and Liverpool Fan will be on worn mediums, as well as Orange and Gamma, who will be on worn softs at this point. Loading Newville, getting in front of Rumax now. Newville on the better tyres than Rumax is. Maybe too long before Milios follows suit. So as it stands in regards to the championship, Big Balls Bells would get his first points of the season. What a point for the pole. And he's leading the race, that put him on to 41 points, which would put him in front of Jay Hartnell and Paskov. And most likely Liverpool Fan and Statistic King as well. With Dixon not racing either, it would be 11 points with him. But Orange and Gamma's second place would still see him extending his lead at the top of the championship. He's in the pits now for his final stop. The medium compound going on. I think he should rejoin ahead of Mark. Mark now setting a new fastest lap. In fact, Mark's already gone through. And Leppy's gone past as well. So Orange and Gamma's going to need to get past these guys on track. I would imagine that Big Balls Bells and Liverpool Fan will be coming in before the end. So this is oh, Wimax has retired. Now where's he lost it? He's lost it. Oh, he's in the pits actually. He's clearly had enough. So Wimax becomes the 6th driver to exit from this race. He's going no further. And that's Big Balls Bells who's just lapped the pass of Wild Dog. Mark now in 3rd place. He'll be pushing those tyres as far as he can. Leppy's now in the pits for Haas. That allows Orange and Gamma to go back up to 4th place. Now, where will Leppy... What tyres will Leppy choose to be on? He's going to go onto a set of the soft compound. He's got a new front wing needing to be put on, so... He's far enough ahead of Safdar. So he'll rejoin in 9th. Here's Newville, closing in on Eckert, who is on the hard tyres. I think Newville will have the advantage at this stage. It's just whether Eckert can fend him off for as long as he can. Now Newville going to the outside of Eckert. Now he's getting past Wild Dog. In fact, Wild Dog I think has had a moment somewhere. Big Bob Bells is coming up behind him. And Mays has just left the session actually. I wonder if he will make his way back and control his Red Bull. So here's Mark, who's all over the back of Liverpool fan. Better tyres at this point than the Mercedes. Rear wing will be open on the Red Bull as they come down this back straight. And Mark now in the pits actually. Oh, that's interesting. Perhaps not confident enough he's going to make it to the end. And he's out. So Mark has broken his front wing actually through all that and he's retired. So Mark is out of the Canadian Grand Prix. Not sure why he's called it quits there. I'd be interested to know what actually happened with Mark. If someone can fill me on that, that'd be very, very helpful. So Safdar goes up to 9th place. King of the Hills will go up to 10th. And Orange and Gamma's now got in front of Liverpool fan. So Orange and Gamma back up to 2nd place. Now, will Big Balls Bells decide to carry on as he's doing? Or will he come into the pits? He's got another set of tyres on before the end of this race. I think if you're Orange and Gamma, you need to try and push as hard as you can to close in. You don't lose that much time by being in the pits anyway, so 20 seconds may well be enough for Big Buzz Bells for him to come in for a pit stop. There's Orange and Gamma, narrowing down that margin over Big Balls Bells. He's just coming up to lap what looks like the Haas of Wild Dog, who I think may have just unlapped him actually. Wild Dog is on the better tyres than Big Balls Bells is. Orange and Gamma, the gap now down to 18 seconds. Local fan, I can't imagine we'll go to the end of the race on the mediums. He'll probably come in for a set of softs, but he'll be on much better tyres at that point. Here's the battle going on between Melios and Eckhart. Melios is on, I'd say he's on the better tyres. Eckhart has been on his for quite some time. He's just lapping the Mercedes of Han. Oh, Han's clipped the barrier. Han's clipped the barrier on the outside. I hope we don't get another virtual safety car for that, but she will need to pit in to get another set of tyres on. Big Bell's absolutely flying at the moment still. Eckhart now ahead of Newbell, who's coming to the pits for a new front wing. Not seeing him drop behind Leppy, Safdart, and probably King of the Hills as well. I think he'll get out in front of King of the Hills actually in 9th place. And also in for Mercedes. Mays has just got back into the lobby, so he'll be able to control his Red Bull again. He's in 12th place. Wild Dog in the pits now for Haas. He's only been on the mediums for 9 laps. Now, will he choose to carry on, or will he decide to call it quits this time? Putting some soft tyres on. Mays is coming through. And Wild Dog exits the pits. There's Mercedes coming through. That'll be Liverpool fan. And Liverpool fan has been on his mediums for 28 laps. Eckhart has been passed by Milios for 5th place now. Now as we've got 21 laps to go here in Montreal. Andrew Gamma closing in all the time. I think that Big Boss Bells is probably going to try and go to the end of the race. Now he's going to do 21 more laps on those tyres. They'll have done 50 laps, which is probably around the... Ooh, it's probably too far for him to be going, because he's most likely to get a puncture at that point, so he needs the time when he's going to perhaps come into the pits. He'll lose the lead to Orange and Gamma if he does so, but having said that... Oh, someone's had a moment in sector 1. Probably a Red Bull, I should think. That's Mays, who's just gone for a spin. Now, Big Boss Bells does not have a time penalty. Orange and Gamma's time penalty is 6 seconds. So even if Big Boss Bells was to pit in, he would still need to just be within 6 seconds of Orange and Gamma in order to win this race. Big Boss Bells is in now. And 30 laps on those mediums. I'd like to think he's going to go onto a set of softs to complete the race on. So Orange and Gamma will take the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix. But Big Boss Bells is going to be on much better tyres for the last part of the race. So Big Balls Bells, and just over 3 seconds behind Orange and Gamma, now on his fresher rubber, looking very, very good for the victory. And the closest battle we've got on track is between Melios and Eckhart for 5th position. Melios does not have a time penalty, does have a time penalty of 12 seconds. Eckhart does not have a time penalty of his either, so as it stands, Eckhart would finish 5th ahead of Melios and just behind Leclerc. And now we've got Liverpool fan in the pits for Mercedes. He's probably going to go onto a set of soft tyres. No need of a change of front wing for him. So he'll be out on his way. Behind the McLarens. He might get in front of Leppy. No, he'll be too far behind him, I think. So Liverpool fan rejoins in 7th. Newbell there, some way behind in 8th there. So Liverpool fan is well and truly clear. Can he pick off these cars one by one? Safdar also in the pits for a set of softs. And he'll rejoin in 10th place behind King of the Hills. So Liverpool fan very quick on the tail of Leppy now for 6th position. Safdar right behind King of the Hills as well. And he gets the job done before that right-hand King of 11. And he puts his Williams up into 9th position on the road. Just 3 drivers lapped in this race. Wild Dog, Maze and Han. Han, who I think is actually 2 laps down on the leader. Yeah, he's getting another 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Here's Big Balls Bells all over the back of Gammon now, with 17 laps remaining. And considering where he qualified, I think Gammon will be happy to be second. The Liverpool fan now in front of Leppy for 6th place. Looking at the time penalty as well, 12 seconds to Leppy's 9, so Liverpool fan will need to pull out a 3-second margin on the Haas. But I'm very confident he'll be able to do that. So Safdar, again another time penalty. He's setting the new fastest lap actually. So he'll be able to keep that point as he is inside the top 10. Now we look at the battle for the lead as Orange and Gamma has just lost that lead to Big Balls Bells now, so Big Balls Bells back into the lead as we start lap 55. Liverpool looking to get in front of Eckhart, put his Mercedes up to 5th. Into the curves, uses ERS, and in fact he's used the DRS actually. He's alongside and he goes through. So it's another position gain for Liverpool fan. He's got a great chance of a podium finish, to be honest with you. He keeps this up. So Orange and Gamma just needs to stay in touch with Big Boss Bells just in case he makes a mistake, but I doubt that Big Boss Bells will do that. Newville. DRS behind the Haas of Leppy. He doesn't actually have DRS on this occasion, so we'll just have to wait a little bit longer before he can have a go. The Big Boss coming up to lap the Mercedes of Han for the third time in this race. Han running in 13th and last. And Andrew Gamma spins! He's hit the barrier on the exit of turn 10. And he's broken his front wing and he'll need to pit in. That's the second mistake he's made in this race now. Well, we know he's out of the contention for the race victory, but that certainly won't do any favours in terms of keeping hold of second. And he's coming into the pits now for a new front wing and get a change of tyres fitted. Go back to the battle for 4th place, and someone else has spun. Is that Big Boss Bells? It is Big Boss Bells! So Big Boss Bells has gone for a spin now. And he's damaged his front wing. Well, I did say that Big Boss Bells wasn't going to make a mistake. Well, he just has now. Orange Gamma exits the pits. He'll rejoin behind Fan and Melios. And I think he'll rejoin ahead of Eckhart, who is just coming down to turn 2. The Racing Point, I think, is just going to get ahead on this occasion, and it is. So Orange Gamma rejoins in 5th. And someone else has spun. Is that the Red Haas of Leppy? I think it may well be, but he's carried on anyway. Now, will Big Boss Bells choose to pit in at the end of this lap? And another yellow flag there at sector 1. And he's going to get another 3 seconds added to his time penalty. And Big Boss Bells is coming in. So after only 7 laps on those softs, he's pitting in to get a new nose section on. That's going to allow Leclerc to take the lead of this Canadian Grand Prix, albeit on the road, as his time penalty is 9 seconds. I don't think he's going to open that up in 13 laps, to be honest with you. Big Boss Bells is coming out of the pits. I think he might just sneak in front of Liverpool Fun, you know. No, he's behind him. He crossed the white line as well, did Big Boss Bells, but he didn't get a penalty for it. Orange Gamma going to the inside of Melios. Oh, the contact! And Big Boss Bells has spun again and breaks his front wing. What a disastrous last few laps for Orange and Gamma. His wretched race goes from bad to worse. Though he's got to be careful not to fall foul of the stewards by pointing the wrong way for too long. He's going to need to pit again for a new nose surely after that. King of the Hills in the pits for a new set of tyres. Wild Dog he's going to go past him into 10th. So Orange and Gamma has thrown his chances of finishing second in this race all away. Big Boss Bells fighting back though, passing Liverpool Fan to go back up to second on the road. Now he is within 9 seconds of Leclerc, so he would take the victory. He just needs to keep the car pointed in the right direction. May even try and go for the fastest lap, if he's lucky enough. And Orange and Gamma is going to be pitting in this lap. Now I can imagine the amount of frustration within him. Is he going to decide to carry on, or is he calling it quits? Because he is still on course to get a points finish out of this. He drops to 9th behind Soft Dart. He should have enough of a margin over Wild Dog, so I think if I was Orange and Gamma, I think you might as well just carry on to the finish. He's out on his way now. It's in the pits now. And Orange Gamma rejoins in 9th place. And looking at the time penalty, he's got 9 seconds as well. Very disastrous race for him. I mean, Newbell's time penalty is 24 seconds. And he's just got in front of Melios as I speak. So Newbell up to 4th place on the road. But he won't be keeping that 4th place for sure. That's not going to be happening. Han just pitting in for another set. He joins in 13th. Well, he's still in 13th place. Leclerc in the lead on the road. With his time penalty, that would drop him to 2nd. He's had a brilliant race, considering where he had started. 9th on the grid to get up into the lead. And someone else has spun. It's Mazed. He's spun in the Red Bull, and he's got going again. And Orange Gamma back in the pits again for Racing Point. I wonder if he ran out of soft tyres or something and decided to go on to the mediums. Well, his race is very much finished now. And Leclerc has, well, I say he's just put a lap on him, but he actually hasn't yet. So if we were to get a safety car now, Orange Gamma would make his way back up, catch his way back up to the field before the race ends. And here's Ramu. Newbell ahead of Melios. Just thinking where Eckhout will finish by the end of this race. He'll actually go up to the podium with the time penalties applied. Eckhout looking very, very good here. If he's quick enough, he might just get in front of Leclerc. So Leclerc, will he decide to pit in? No, I think he's going to have to stay out, to be honest with you, if he wants to keep hold of 2nd. 9 laps remaining here in Canada. Big Boss Bell's on course to take the victory. Orange Gamma, even with 11th place, he would still extend his lead in the championship. Leffy in 7th behind Eckhout. This is going to be a good opportunity for Eckhout to get closer and closer and closer to his rivals in this race to bag himself that podium finish. Now for Orange Gamma to finish 11th, that would bag him 6 points from this race, which is better than nothing. If he was to set the fastest lap, he would need to finish inside the top 10 in order to get it. Big Balls Bells in second place. He will take the victory when Leclerc's penalty is applied. Lappy gradually closing in on them. Eckhart, he won't be able to use DRS on this occasion. He may certainly help him get closer. Newbell getting another time penalty to his name. 27 seconds he's got. So he would fall behind Milios, he would fall behind Eckhart, he would most certainly fall behind Leppy. I think he would fall behind Safdar as well. So Newbell's time penalty would drop him down to 8 at the finish. Leppy's still behind Eckhart. Looking to continue his pursuit of Milios, his teammate. Six laps remaining now. Can Big Balls Bells get back into the lead on the road before this race is over? Rear wing opens up now on the Alfa Romeo, pulls alongside Leclerc. Down the back straight, he'll go to the inside and get the job done before the corner. So Big Balls Bells back into the lead of the race. Leclerc will just need to make sure he keeps hold of second place, which is further secure now, to be honest with you, because Liverpool fans just got another 3 seconds worth of time penalty added to his time, which is good news for Eckhart, actually. He wants to try and pull away from Leppy, though, so that he's in. Orange and Gamma right behind King of the Hills in the battle for 10th place. Goes to the inside, and that will be 10th position going to the racing point. Safdar now getting a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. That takes his total to 12. You're going to see quite a lot of the pecking order change at the end of this race with all these time penalties added. Now Van Rie's time penalty will drop him behind Milios, Eckhart, Leppy and Safdar. Probably Safdar, I think, anyway. There's still 4 laps remaining though. So 3 laps remaining. Big Boss Bells over, well, nearly 3 seconds in front of Leclerc on the road. But with all the time penalties that will be applied at the end of this race, he would take the victory. Just seen that Eckart's now been given a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits too many times. That's his first 3 seconds, which means that Big Boss Bells is the only driver who is still running who does not have a time penalty at all. And there's Han moving out of the way. That's the 4th time she's been lapped in this race, I believe. Yeah, it's the 4th time she's been lapped. And someone's had an incident set to 2. It's one of the Hasses who's gone for a spin. It's Leppy trying to get going again without damaging the car. He's well clear ahead of his teammate, Wild Dog, and he's on his way again. So Big Boss Bells on his penultimate lap. And Orange Gammon now all over the back of Wild Dog. So I think with Wild Dog's time penalty, Orange Gammon would finish ahead of him anyhow. He'll want to get the move done. Avoid being lapped by the leader, of course. What a wretched race it's been for Gamma. Here's Big Boss Bells on course for his first victory of the season and his first points as well. He had a couple of disastrous races at Monza and Suzuka, but he's got it right here today. Gamma now getting ahead of Wild Dog. Let's go up into 9th. Race leader Big Boss Bells is about to start the last lap of this race. He's just about to lap the Renault with King of the Hills for the first time. And Wild Dog getting another 3 seconds worth of time penalty. So he's on to 30 seconds with what he's got. So Big Boss Bells has done everything right in this race. He had that mistake towards the end, but he made up for it by pitting in for a new front wing, getting a new set of soft tyres on, got back ahead of Leclerc, and has been on trouble since. Just the chicane to go now for Big Boss Bells, and he'll be celebrating his victory. 2 more corners to negotiate for the Alfa Romeo driver. Onto the pit straight for the last time. Big Boss Bells in the 100% Racing Series wins the Canadian Grand Prix in Canada. Brilliant drive from him from pole position. Leclerc will finish 2nd, even with the time penalty. Had a great drive from him. We're just looking to see who will be 3rd when all the time penalties are applied. Liverpool Fan is 3rd on the road. He won't be keeping that for sure. It'll be either him or Eckert that'll be going to the podium. I think Eckart's got enough in hand, but we'll see. And Eckart's missed out by 1.8 seconds. So Liverpool Fan is 3rd, Eckart's 4th. Vermanubel is currently 5th at the moment. Milio's 6th, Safdar in 7th place. Then it's Leppy, Orange and Gamma, and Wild Dog on the rest of the drivers on the lead lap. King of the Hills will be 11th for Renault. Mazed is 12th, and Han, despite being 4 laps down, will come away with some points in 13th position. But it's victory for Big Boss Bells in Canada, who has finally got his season up and running at the 3rd time of asking. And in regards to how that affects the championship as well, Orange Gamma getting Big Balls Bells getting 41 points, puts him on to 41 in the championship overall. So final classification of the Canadian Grand Prix. Big Balls Bells is your winner with Leclerc second, Liverpool Fan third, Eckhart's fourth, Newbell fifth, Milliosen sixth, Safdar seventh, Leppy eighth, Orange and Gamma ninth, Wild Dog rounding out the top 10. The fastest lap point going to Safdar. King of the Hills was 11th, followed by Maze and Han in 13th position, and the last of the finishers. Mark didn't finish, neither did Wimax, Jay Hartnell, John Nevers, Meeman Moody, Ollie and Mizzlesticks also retired. So having a look at the championship standings, Orange and Gamma, despite finishing 9th, which would bag him, I believe it's something like 10 points for finishing there. We'll have a look on the race results from previous ones just to help me what the point system is for the 100% Racing Series. Ninth place gets you 10 points, yeah. So Orange and Gamma adding to his total of 10, 84 points for him. So he's leading the championship now. I mean, with Liverpool Fan coming home in third place, I'd see him get 28 points. Moves on to 48, so that moves him up to second, in fact, in the championship overall. So the gap is 36 points between Orange and Gamma and second place Liverpool Fan going into the next round of the championship, which will be, I believe, in Zandvoort in Holland in a week's time. Just to confirm with you, yes, it is. So Zandvoort in Holland is the location for the fourth round of the 100% Racing Series calendar for the Formula Racing League. Qualifying is on Friday the 4th of June, 7 p.m. British Summer Time, and the race start is at 9 p.m. Saturday the 5th of June, British Summer Time. So do please tune in for then. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the Formula Racing League returns.